Check my audio real quick. I believe it should be on. Yep. Okay, so hello everybody, my name is Duncraft117, and we're back here on Destiny 2. This will be vlog number 5 officially. Now, as it is showing from the title, I'm still chasing the Gobble Trophy Hunter. Because yet I ended personally getting to them, but seen from the last video that there's 3 of them, but the Genesis and was it like, I think it was Disruption Break. Yeah, Disruption Break. It really isn't as good as I thought, so I just ended up infusing it as that. Now,
underway.
That there are some very interesting updates.
Transferred.
Although that there is a sign of a nerf. But and yet then the nerf was to the Wish Ender Bow. So yet the, well, I wouldn't even say it's a nerf, but more like the effects than anything due to it intentionally doing hell a lot more damage than most other bows because of the because of the broadhead, the perk, or the broadhead or broadhead perk, just whatever how you prefer to say, but yeah. But yeah.
A transaction to make,
So
Guardian?
right now I just pretty much need to go and get all my stuff. And yeah.
Some things are finite. Warm yourself by the glow of a few finer embers.
Okay, for some reason my internet is kind of suffering a little bit. I really don't know why. Just got the message. So I noticed that the screen turned black because of the notification to that sits on the opposite side of it, but hopefully I'll be getting through this pretty well. So let's just pick up our 2 trophy hunter bounties. So sniper rifle commando, I could do that. Scorn Slayer. Alright, so we got a couple of easy ones here to deal with. So, yes. But mainly, I've been taking this one out for a lot. Yet, seriously, I kind of like this one a lot more. Because mainly, that it's just got a wonderful recoil control, for what it's got from the random roll.
Underway.
And oh, that's my fusion fodder.
Another mile, and forever another tomorrow.
And also that, also planning to try to replay with a couple of weapons around here and there. Yet then their Souls regime, but it was most likely to be meant for Crucible than PVE. But anyways, I know my gunsmith bounty have veneer as that, so let me check up on my quests here as well, so I'm supposed to mark it. Got sniper rifle calibration, got void, veneer, and pulse. Okay. And now you have to do this exploring the corridors of time stuff, yet then it's still upon a great mystery. but but still the big wigs, the top content creators that has been running around. Yeah, for Destiny, pretty much as long as I know, only for sure around when I been watching their videos. Cause yeah, mainly I've been around since the Destiny 1 beta, and yet ever since things changed over the years, things got really different. Well, for all the accordance of the buffs and nerfs here or there. I remember the Pocket Infinity fiasco, which, yeah, hardly anybody could ever talk about that. Maybe for Destiny 1 veterans, but Pocket Infinity was yet a good weapon, but it was just a buggy mess.
Step on up. Take a look.
But just to let anybody know who is a newcomer, that Pocket Infinity is a fully automatic fusion rifle. Belongs to the slowest charging class and the highest damaging archetype. But eventually that... I sworn I heard a cat around here somewhere. I was about to say, eventually that this thing was just an absolute monster. It used to be originally having a magazine of 8. And it also got this perk that that if it missed, but hilariously, if any pellet miss really, then it's gonna return back to the magazine. And it'll extend all the way up to the good 48-64 shots. Which that is insanely broken. But if you're hitting something big and large, then yeah, the full amount of damage of 8 shots will appear. But if you're hitting smaller targets or trying to mow down a crowd, that thing will be ultimate crowd control tool. But there are some bugs at times that this thing will eventually do less damage than intended, or will never fire. Yeah, as such. I keep on hearing this cat noise around here. I know I'll try not to get sidetracked for what just happened here, but yeah, so that was about it for the Pocket Infinity, although. But alright, so getting back on track, so mainly I need to try to find the triple tap purple weapon. And hopefully if I could get a pendant magazine. Now, as it is, I would have gone for extended mag and then go extending all the way up to 5, but that would have just been, you know, it would just suck on the reload speed. It's already bad enough that most majority of aggressives or high impacts do suffer from the the reload speed, and eventually they'll not be all that great. But yet the reload animation itself isn't all that bad. It's got the same exact animation as the Vice rapid fire archetype and snipers. But right now it's just running just a normal little setup here for rifles. Although I'll probably get myself a shotgun just for backup. Now, eventually that I heard that Hardlight ended up having a buff. And supposed to have reduced screen shake. Then first of all I need to try to get rid of the void bounty here. And the best place to do it is when you turn back the clock, load it there on Nessus in the tribute hall, and then you go spawning into the tower. It really doesn't matter where you spawn from, the annex or just the hangar, just the main area itself, or just going into the farm, which any of these three social areas would do. And then you can simply go off to wherever the heck you want to go. So you could eventually just do your farming stuff there. Eventually it'll be less of a pain and burden to do, because you don't want players to go around stealing your kills and stuff. And that's the reason why you hardly see any players around. Because what you're doing, that you're tricking the server, you're tricking the game, so the game can make a new server, brand spanking new for you. And you could be in there by yourself. The only other players that would be in there with you, if it's your friends, or if somebody had happened to swap the clock at the same exact time, and then spawn in there as that. So, as you see, Hardlight is less shaky. Although still doing it, a little bit underpowered damage here, but although it did got somewhat of buff. But I think it's more for PvP wise than PvE. What is a decent weapon, although. Should have marked a void, but yeah, I'll do that real quick. And then afterwards, I'll swap to my void subclass, get out my sniper. And then hopefully I could get a public event so I can start tethering these guys down and get a big multi-kill bonus. About it. Go collect up all these leftover goodies here. Alright, down to the good old nitty gritty stuff that I have to deal with. So I already got the void bounty done. Can't have two special weapons at the same time. Just draw my current favorite auto rifle for now. Not shot a special yet. Huh. Good. Also that yet in the Leviathan's breath, it's still not that bad of exotic. Now, eventually sometimes in the past that upon once upon a time that this bow is supposed to get a buff. And I'm not really too sure if I ever got it, but it does feel a lot more better for the damage per bolt, so it might have gotten a buff, so who really ever knows. but it's still a good heavy weapon to use. It's like a pinpoint rocket launcher that you could run around with. But you could maximize this out all the way to 12 shots. Which that's just pretty insane. Imagine a 12-shot rocket launcher you can carry in total. Although really, you can only carry up to 9 when you fully max out the reserves with build prep. Or a weapon that has naturally a +1 to the capacity. Which, I think it was a pit launcher. The pit launcher can naturally have a +1, so it could carry up to 7 by itself, and then you can maximize it out to 9. Or maybe 10, which I really have not tested out yet for the pit launcher, although the pit launcher was back from the... What was it, faction rally. Yep. And the pit launcher was a decent one. But it wasn't really all that great, although it does hit pretty darn hard for an aggressive rocket launcher. Should have maybe drawn time lost friends on this. Oh no, they all moved. That's better. Anyways, I do need some special, you know. Oh no. Oh my gosh. No. I always hate it when that turns into a nightmare. It's only one bad thing if you get a whole bunch of alkaloids that draws like that. Oh my gosh, that is a literal nightmare. Percent ain't that bad. I know I could do better with time loss, friends. Yes, I'll buy more of that stuff anytime. Anyways. Yep, for the health 6 of this, I'll throw enhanced heavy lifting on my old foe tracer. So I could try to get myself some heavy power up real quick for the super. Let's group up everybody. Thank you. Big jump. Gotta need that for my sniper rifle kills, although worth the sacrifice for my heavy ammo. Okay. I think my fan is being a little bit too loud around here. I'll just set that down for a little bit. Goes. Oh, that was perfect. I think that just barely spawned in. Which I could pretty much double dip into that, you know, momentarily. Okay, everybody's grouping up nice and tight there. That sucks. Only one end getting blown up. Oh, it's might as well. We're gonna get a couple more tries. You know, it's but too bad you can't extend it out to however much you want. Because seriously, right there with the Leviathan's breath, you could only throw one bow reserves. And that's your max at 12 now. Before it's capped out at 13, but now for some reason it's now capped out at 12. Oh, they got pulse rifle and the near. Come on. That sucks because everybody didn't get tether. I really don't know what happened there. I guess it could not tether up to 20 enemies. I guess it only has like a 15 max. Then. Because about like 5 or 6 of these enemies are still running around pretty freely close to the tether. Alright, so that's active. Where am I at right now? Let's see, 55%, which ain't that bad. I could have gone to the Leviathan, but yeah, the Leviathan down there in the Leviathan, things get pretty darn rough down there. Because although you'll get infinite enemies, but like the bad part there is that when you get so many projectiles, that will literally end up try to attack you all at once. Then it's just so bad to try to find your kills there. Especially that if you run out of special, that eventually that you'll be screwed for a little bit because it's during a raid that the raid does have a special modifier that's hidden
Get your
inside
grenade
of it.
ready. We've got some thrall visitors.
But just to put for myself and everybody else on side note that eventually this title would stop if I do get the God World I was looking for. And yet then I was either looking for a tactical or pedimag, one with that. goes. So that's one of them. But yeah, just right before that, going to try to get pulse rifle kills now. Going to throw on drop mag, the air sight, so I can have a better view. Jeez, the sound of it. I don't know if anyone heard that, but that's that really deep bass every time something dies in the tether. And let's see, should be last but not least is the linear. I want to try to get most of this stuff out of the way too, as well. Okay, here's the... Oh, wait, but... Yeah, the arbalist is in the kinetic slot. So keep that in there for now. Alright, since I have... That's what I have no longer have there. Do that. Just might as well throw a pulse rifle loader. Since I do know them diminishing returns that there is. Or there is like a half slight buff over from what's originally, so eventually if you're able to rifle with whatever that's in the within the class, or light arms with hand cannon loaders or stuff like that, you're able to get the double benefit out from that. So eventually there's still ways to try to buff up your weapons reload speed to lightning fast, or getting it just about quick as possible if you can. But notice that they also getting their dexterity up as well. But also that, yeah, then if you already got decent reload speed, then you're pretty much fine. You already gotta get quick reload speed. Wait, throw drop mag on this. This is almost like a permanent outlaw. But except you're wasting your bullets, your magazine. Middle Dad also kind of starved you for a little bit of special here. About 10 shots, maybe doable. Carry about the full magazine then with reserves. Probably fine. Alright, time to cause mass genocide to the score next. As the bounty wants us to do. Like most other bounties that ask for specific races of aliens. Though probably one of my best solutions around there is to run air clearing weapons best as you can, but also really powerful ones as well. Run that one. Probably run my Kindle Orc as a backup. Probably running Love and Death just to take down the Scorn tank. Pretty much ready to go for that one. Yeah, hollow layer. Best place to do so. Change that back to my original setting. Yeah, I think it was with shotgun. For sake of thoughts, yeah, probably the Huckleberry is probably gonna be my best bet to probably clear them out. And yet, that while you're during the strike, that that you could do at least 1 or 2 runs in the lost sector before heading down into the strike area. Yeah, so you could at least get yourself a nice whopping, I don't know, like 40 to 50%ish, or yeah, at the most, but by the least it's 30%ish. But for around those numbers, then you could simply head on into the strike, which you'll eventually reach to 100, because there's nothing more than just enemies that are just all scorn.
Dead thing, murderer, killer, come killer, I return the favor.
Yeah, in a minute, Fanatic. I'm probably just gonna eliminate your army real quick. Yeah, what the heck was that? I think I just hovered over the ground for a little bit. Got me 46%, that's good enough already. And now I can pretty much go head on. Yeah, got one enemy. That brings me 47. So, one enemy is equal to 1%. While longer having a permanent 25% buff and a 10% buff that's temporarily, then it should be just 100 scorn then. But while the 10% is not active, then it should take at least maybe 2 to 2.5 scorn per 1%. If I just roughly guessing off from the bounty status. To drop mag one already. Just to check real quick with that. for how sexy it is, I could probably just go ahead and solo queue this strike. But I really don't know what's ever gonna happen. Okay, so after I got all my clearance stuff out of the way, let's put on, you know, perfected here, then and just be on my way. Now, there's a fun and interesting thing to do that I never really thought of in the first place. They could literally weaken the tank. I can show you that. But don't bother to try to use rocket launchers or anything to try to weaken it. It's about a waste of heavy, but also that you might also kill yourself in the process.
Check the counterweight.
Okay, so that's about it. Yeah, here's the real interesting part. You could actually damage it, believe it or not. But, yeah, not your super thing, you cannot get by it. So the only thing there is that I'll have to rely on is Foe Tracer. Pretty much do the damage for me. And you're pretty much gonna be surprised how much damage I could possibly take off. Yeah, with that, but if you got you and your friends here with Outbreak Perfected, you could possibly kill it pretty quickly. I think it already hit its max already. Yeah, so it's either gonna be dead or not, but if it's still alive, that's the look of it. There's still a possibility that it would, but it's gonna come out a hell of a lot more weaker. Okay, got hung up on a corner. Well, at least the checkpoint has been hit. But, yeah, so... yeah, this is kind of an interesting little thing to do. Although I'm not really ever too sure if Bungie ever take their eyes onto some of the videos with what I've probably been doing. And you could do some stuff with Road Tracer. I'm not really too sure how the other damage buffing exotics are. But you could do some interesting stuff with it. Yeah, there's gonna be several chieftains running around here. So yeah, so very much likely so just taking my time around here. But soon after this encounter, I'll just go and stop to check up on my bounties, because they all really take a chore to do. So it's in that I wouldn't just go and do an on-stock grind, but I've been doing a couple of those off cameras, but I really have not gotten any luck so far. There's quite a bit of heavy ammo around here. Okay, and you do at this part here, that you can simply run right past everything. I know likely during this part that there's gonna be quite a bit of enemies around here. I better optimize my stuff before going to battle. Although I could have killed just about anything just to get some extra ammo, but I really don't bother with those guys anyways.
It's your turn to die for good, dead thief.
It's just him. That is still around here. Can't even see it.
Just to kill. I'll show you your end when I return.
Yeah, hope I don't remember if I actually titled this right, but... Alright, over to the phone. Let's see what I got in the mail this time. Pulse wave, a pulse monitor, a vorpal weapon. No, garbage, throw it out. And the same thing. Gosh, it's been garbage the whole entire time. See it back, good old Duke. Steady hand, triple tap. Penamag, high cal. Field prep. Decent, but not my taste. But this is gonna take hell of a lot longer. Yeah, then too bad that you really cannot keep any of the time loss bounties all the way through, because you can only keep two at the same time at the keeping two at the same time only, instead of just doing these two, it'll let the limit it back out to two again to repurchase, do it again, then just rinse and repeat. But I really cannot do that whatsoever, and it can only be two of the same kind at a time. if I'm trying to get this worded correctly. Which it's pretty much a lot of pain. And and yet then like I really don't know why whatever weapons that I don't ever expect, like this one to not to ever drop as a guard roll, it just dropped it. But the ones I've been trying to chase for seamlessly never drops for me.
Hi there.
$960, that's good. I'll keep more of this stuff for fusion. Throw it out. Garbage and garbage.
Goodbye. Ready to check.
Said he made it to Io. The Iraqs will want to talk.
Now, I don't remember if I actually got enough materials for my mini tool. I've been upgrading it lately. So let's see, 9 stability. So take the race. So I pretty much got to get 8 of these cores in total. Which, like, if I ever really wanted to, that I could spend a nice chunk of majority of this stuff here. But knowing that the Bastion quest is coming around,
What do you need?
that it's just best for me to stick with them. Now, the only bad part whenever you're holding sweat bounties around is that either the game will allow you to do duplicates or not. Which, I've been in that situation several times before. Or I could upgrade the last stance, what I've been having sitting there. Which, you know, which this one's a laser beam with high caliber rounds in it. Or more likely, I don't know, grape size. You know, water droplets, since this thing does shoot liquids. But, because it's already bad enough you already got direct detected proc. But when you get certain moments to reduce even more stability, this thing does not move at all. It's got a recoil direction of 92, and it doesn't have any barrel perks to control the recoil, so the only other way to do so is throwing counterbalance stock, and it'll control the recoil all the way up to a max recoil of 100. And yet then you're just able to easily max out the stability and beyond that.
Checking. Let's check. You must have messages.
So, yeah. So it's about an hour that it got there to me. So I could pretty much just go ahead and just get my stuff over where I need to. Do what I can. But once I fully upgraded this is, because this weapon has almost kind of like a recluse style stability. Also, that through counterbalance stuck on there to control the recoil, and yet then that mainly for a submachine gun like that, for 900, stay away from the arrowhead brakes whatsoever. These will not help you out, because they do not give you stability in the first place. not unless you're able to have stability masterwork, but the best wombo combo if you're going control on for recoil control is to run on chamber compensator, lower caliber sock, and hopefully if you able to get stability as your masterwork tier. Then it's either ricochet or steady rounds, and you're able to have the most stable weapon as you can. So it's a very neat thing to actually have at that combination. Put like Thorn for now. But since I hear that Scorch, it's gonna be up for the Crucible. So, you know what I'm gonna do is gonna get my gear ready. I know, like in Scorch, the most cheating thing that you could get away, it's still not cheating at all to do, is to ridiculously max out your mobility, or just have insane, or have max recovery. By its end, I have one that's just very simple to really to do with equip, since it already has originally high mobility, since it's mobile under armor. It's the law specific that you just buy them directly out from the armor section. Then what you do, see after that, you can buy Stompies just from its base form. Although the base form isn't all that great, but the mobility stats is yet then fantastic. Having high mobility, then you could jack it up even more higher with mobility mod and traction. And yet then it will really make a difference there. You know, once you're able to run around with that. So afterwards, but then, and also that when you're in Scorched, that also make sure to run these two on, so you're able to get the bonus. And then while stacked on top of that, that also you can also pretty much make sure to run lightweight weapons, because you having the quick thing in there, and the Chaos Midi tool, then the Mitre multi-tool, because you could either just run just the Mitre Midi tool just by itself, which is the year 1 version, and you could pretty much still get the same benefits as is. So, if you really don't know where to look for the armored, you just go down to Titan and just get a whole bunch of that stuff and just discard it for parts and fusion materials. And then what you do, you just go to open world here, you get your mobility stuff. So it's pretty much the best kind of set to have right now. It's Hunter, there's also for Titan, which you could get a mobile set, and you could get a relatively quick. You could even go down to Mercury and such. But then it's the same for the Warlock if you even get mobile and stuff here. Then draw and transverse steps along with mobility and traction, then yeah, you're literally gonna be flying around.
Hi there.
Alright.
Name, Guardian?
But yeah, so I should probably even title rebranded gameplay like usual, because this is still is. But later on, that I'll think I'll just probably just gonna be doing random gameplay then discussion for what's going to happen next.
Spare parts leaking. Oh dear.
But before I go,
Nice to have Fenchurch back. Or at least as back as the absentee.
I'd like to at least I'll show y'all max mobility. But I'm pretty sure other videos has showed off max mobility before. But like as from the what's it? The item manager itself, it shows I actually have 103 mobility, but it'll get greatly beyond that, because my multi-tool gives off a +1, which, or more likely, if now it's a +10, really, which still equals to 1 tier, so you're able to have 10, to 20, and then you get additionally to 30, which is almost like the old original style, +2 mobility, because just a weapon by itself it's a +10, and then with Mida you're able to have a +20 there, which makes it 2 tiers. Already, and the buff will be there. Although Bungie said they're supposed to nerf it, but it's actually there. This is just a +10 from the lightweight. And the result is that you could jump pretty darn high. And using triple jump, you could use that to maneuver yourself to distance that you could try to manipulate. But like if you're able to do so, running high jump, but also even running even more mobility, as you can run Keen Scout from the top tree, sprint and sneak faster, gain enhanced tracker, but more likely a detailed tracker. But you really don't find any enemies a lot more often at distance, because it's more likely going to tell you where the chest and materials is. But like this, to get you a good idea of that I could basically touch that door in one go. Stats is pretty high. And at least the best thing there is that you do get a decent combination of your weapons, and yet then you're able to surprise your enemies if you're manipulating your play style good enough. And yet I used that build several times before. Now, although likely that it's already bad enough you're able to trick your enemies, but where you're going around and Scorch and jacking up your mobility to max and beyond, then yeah, that's when you're basically already started to ruin others. And I went to Team Scorch before with just this setup alone, and it was just amazing, and hardly anybody could try to touch me with the Scorch cannons. And yet they really couldn't hit me. The only time that they probably would end up getting me is when the moment that I am just almost down, touching the floor, or directly touching the floor, attempting to try to jump back again, and they'll get me in one go. Because although that you're literally losing just almost about everything in trade for mobility and faster class regeneration, so you could keep on turning yourself invisible. So as you see here, that my class ability is regenerating pretty darn quick. And you could pretty much throw on synced into Frosties and you could get it back even faster. And yet the Frosties in 2.0 would probably be good, but it really depends how the stats is. But if you're able to have like a high universal stats on the Frosties, I would probably consider that as a god roll. And it really doesn't matter what affinity you're basically running. Because the other thing, Frosties is very much a great weapon to have. I mean, armor piece to have. Yeah, although it's very underrated, I see very little play of it. But while Armor 2.0, it's still running rampant right now. That running this will result you very good status. So right now it's got like a very basic universal stats. Yeah, although the strength is a little bit more stronger there for melee. And yet, even if you could get high melee, then you could literally get to the point that you can start spamming melees for just running around a little bit. But you could get your melee back even faster by running Monte Carlo. And yet, Frosties and Monte Carlo goes together like PB and J. And it gives me fond memories running this build back in Destiny 1, but I really don't know what the hell ever got me banned in Destiny 1 for. Because it's either one, I ran Pocket Infinity, and yet the Pocket Infinity is still perfectly fun to run around with. Or two, that Monte Carlo and Frosty's build that did, and I'll literally spam melees non-stop by running around. And even running and gunning with it, which I even tried out on my friends in a private match, which yet then they all challenged me to do so. But also to lose my super as well, so that means I cannot use my super by running the restricted artifact, which is Felt Winner's artifact, maybe a Felt Winner, which back in Rise of Iron, that it'll disable your super, but you'll get double melee and double grenades back in return. But also that it also gives a small boost. But I have a god roll version of that it has strength. It had strength of, let's see, what was else? Strength, discipline, intellect. And all of them were pretty high. All of them were in the hundreds. And yet it just allows me to go to max stats onto all of that. Except for intellect, although, but because the intellect ended up becoming useless, which that ties to your super. But then it gives me such fond memories of using Monte Carlo and Frosties together back in Destiny 1. But like they always been hearing about the repeal, but yet then like I remember back at the time that there weren't no repeal form or anything. But if I could actually get myself repeal off of that, then maybe so that I could start doing a couple of videos in Destiny 1. And also review yet then what for all sorts of really nasty things what I got still sitting there in the vault. I even got a couple really nasty year 1 stuff. Which is just absurd to even think of. And then you have like several year 1 weapons that'll make Isoluna look bad. But it's overall, but I even think for number 3 is yet then getting exotic as a level 20 or lower. Although at the time that if you're able to have a couple of strange coins in your back pocket, then yeah, you could use those to buy 3 of coins, and then hopefully you could get exotic out of a boss. And I ain't really too sure, but any of these 3 could possibly piss off somebody to the point that they just end up reading and scolding Bungie off, saying it's cheating when it actually isn't. It's like, I do have other alternate accounts, but half of them I pretty much don't even remember what's even the passwords to it, other than only one other working account, but this one other working account is just only for remote play, which I often use it whenever I'm away from home, whenever I get bored or something like that. But overall, that's about everything. But I never use any external programs or nothing like that, because I know better. But yet then, like, getting restricted or banned for just doing the following the rules of the game. Or yet then somehow you find this really crazy build. Like, yeah, then get banned over that because somebody just get butthurt over it. Yet, although I really want to know who did that, originally, but although it's already been too late several years ago. So I just still decided to just push on to Destiny 2. Restarting everything all over again. Although from the alternate accounts that I could probably start back on Destiny 1. But things will not be the same, and it'll be very hard to attain some of the year 1s that I had gotten from other DLCs and there's some of the ones that I may not ever get back because they're around since beta, which we will all remember. Things like Spare Change, Yoa Matador, Felt Winter Size, some other stuff that you can hardly ever get, including year 1s that has unique combinations that any other year 2 or pre-year 2, which is the ones that are still around with year 1 values, could hardly ever have. But anyways, but later on now, this is where I just stuck at to hear Destiny 2. Although Destiny 2's been getting better over the years, but eventually it started to go way down the hill. There's the Eververse, although we really can't do much with Eververse. But we should always end up be reminded that Bungie is pretty much now independent. But yet then, like, the one thing that always gets my goat that you've never been told for what reason what the person had reported you from. and who it is, because mainly you have the right to know what's the reason. Because like the if you get banned for no reason and really the company never told you, that yeah, then there's a fighting chance that you would. But there's a slim chances that if they're ever gonna let your account go. Because although Bungie already proves that yes, that your account could be repealed. Even if they have it on the blacklist, they're supposed to do a permanent ban. Which, yeah, they already have pardoned many people who's been wrongfully banned, or some who are just literally legitimate cheaters. But yet then, right now for Destiny 2, there's been a lot of cheaters going on. They're in PC, but it's not my topic for do so. So, yeah. That's about it. Other than just doing several minutes of running around in circles. But I'll get going. But I'll see y'all later. Yeah, goodbye. And yet then I'll see y'all in the next video as well. So it'll be officially number 6 the next time.